Hey guys, welcome to Poor Man Mods. Today we're going to be installing Techno Toy Tuning's traction links and rear lower control arms on my MK3 Supra. These traction links and control arms are going to be a simple bolt-in installation and they look absolutely incredible. Check this out. So this right here is the traction link. It's going to replace the factory traction link and get rid of that sloppy bushing. Now, if you have the original traction link, you likely have the original bushing and it's totally shot. But even the polyurethane bushings have some play. So you get these rod ends with the traction links and they're gonna help out a ton with wheel hop. They're gonna eliminate any slop in this arm. And also, this is a little bit above of my pay grade for what I do with the car. But adjusting these longer, you can actually extend the wheelbase of the car. Now, that's not something that I think I personally have to do, but if you're in a serious racing application, or if you know how to make that benefit your situation, you can adjust the wheelbase with these traction links, which is super freaking cool. And of course, this centerpiece is made with super high quality billet aluminum, and Techno Toy Tuning claims this is even stronger than the factory steel. So it looks great, offers adjustability, probably a little bit overkill for what I'm gonna do, but if you know how to utilize it, it's definitely gonna help you out if you're on the racetrack. And here are the lower control arms, and I gotta say, they look absolutely fantastic, but looks like a freaking AR-15 or something. And they made these out of steel. These are not aluminum, so they're extremely strong in addition to looking freaking awesome. And they are adjustable here, and so this is gonna give you more fine adjustment for your camber. It's gonna eliminate the factory cam bolt with its delete shims that go right here, because that's not the most precise way to adjust camber, and it can move over time. So adjusting it with this rod end right here is much more precise. And just like with the traction link, this is gonna get rid of any slop because you don't have a bushing anymore. You have these solid rod ends. And getting rid of slop is gonna make your suspension a lot more predictable. And another good thing about these control arms and the traction links, and also the toe links that I installed previously on this car, with these rod ends, they aren't gonna bind like a traditional bushing could. So all around, these things are going to be a massive upgrade for the Supra, especially if you have those old sloppy bushings. This is going to make the car handle like a dream and make it much more predictable, and hopefully get rid of the myth or misconception that this car has terrible suspension. So let's get under the car and remove that crappy 30-year-old suspension and get these beauties installed. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is remove the nut on the cam bolt for the lower control arm. And if this is your first time removing this bolt, there's a high chance that this bolt could be stuck in the bushing and you have to cut it out. I did these a few years ago and Annie sees them, so they should be good. But if this is your first time doing this, it's very likely you're gonna have to get a Sawzall or a grinder and cut this bolt out. Now, if this bolt is stuck, you will be able to turn it on the other side, but you'll just break the sleeve away from the bushing. You won't actually break the bolt away from the sleeve. So just be very careful. Torching it usually won't help if it's stuck, but if you can tap it out like this, you're golden. But I hate to say, if this is your first time, that 30-year-old bolt is likely stuck in the bushing. Fabulous. To remove the bolt on this side, you need a 19mm wrench and socket. Now we will remove the nut on the traction link. Need a wrench. And finally, we'll remove the bolt on the front of the traction link. And this bolt is very long. Okay, now we can install this traction link, and I made this the same length as the factory link. And like I said in my previous video when I did the toe links, I'm gonna get this thing professionally aligned. Aligning all this stuff is a little bit above my pay grade. So I'm just making these arms close to the factory length, and then I will tell the alignment shop what I want to do with the car, and they will align it for me. Now we can install our cam bolt eliminators, but they won't fit right now because the tabs are bent in a little bit. So you just need to hit these with like a hammer or a screwdriver. Just bend these out any way you can to make the eliminator plate fit. Once you get both eliminator plates installed, run the bolt through it. Just to make sure that they're lined up. Now we can install this control arm. Techno Toy Tuning marks these, they are side specific. Here's an L for the left side, the right side has an R right here. And you do have to install the arm on this knuckle here first, around this bushing. Look if it fits. Pretty tricky to install because I have this bushing on this side. For some reason it's not on the other side of the car, but God, I just have to cuss at it. Now we can get this outer bolt tightened up, 19mm socket and wrench. And lastly, we'll get this bolt tightened on the traction link. And then the last thing you want to do is tighten up these jam nuts. You want to get your alignment close. You could eyeball it. Just get it close. All right guys, there you go. Pretty simple enough. Got the Techno Toy Tuning lower control arms and traction links installed. Pretty straightforward install. For some reason, I guess it was my fault. Years ago, this side of the car had that one bushing on the knuckle here, which made installing the lower control arm pretty difficult. It was a really tight squeeze getting it on that bushing. On the passenger side, it was the factory kind of style bushing, but this side was like a aftermarket polyurethane, and it just made it pretty difficult to install. So I just needed a bunch of silicone lubricant to get it on there. But other than that, very, very simple and straightforward to install these. And like I said before in this video, and also in the toe link video that I did for Techno Toy Tuning, I don't take this thing on a road course, and I don't really drift this thing. So I don't really know exactly how I should adjust these arms. So I just got them to the factory length, and I'm going to take this to a performance shop where they can do a high performance alignment. I'll tell them what I do with the car and what my goals are, and they will align it to the best of their ability. I definitely would not recommend taking this to like a regular like Goodyear or Firestone and getting this thing aligned. They're probably either going to turn you away, or they're probably not going to have any idea what to do. And also, like I said earlier in this video, these traction links, since they are adjustable, now it's above my pay grade, but if you know what you're doing, you can change the wheelbase of the car. You can shorten or lengthen them and manipulate the wheelbase and get a different traction and handling result from that. But honestly, I would not know how to properly do that. But also, most importantly with these arms, you're getting rid of those sloppy OEM or urethane bushings, and with the rod ends, you're getting rid of all of that slop. So you're making your suspension a lot more predictable, getting rid of slop and play, and eliminating those cam adjuster bolts. You're just making this suspension a lot more reliable and predictable, and it's probably going to last the lifetime of the vehicle. But if not, the rod ends are serviceable, so that's a big plus too. And of course, these things look absolutely beautiful and they are extremely well made. That lower control arm is extremely heavy duty and an absolute work of art. So I'm super pumped to have all three of these arms in my car, the toe links, the traction links, and the control arm. Super excited about that. So big thank you to Techno Toy Tuning for helping me out with these videos. And if you guys are interested in any of these Techno Toy Tuning products, I'll have a link in the description down below for you. I do encourage that you support companies like Techno Toy Tuning because they are supporting the MK3 Supra community. And as you know, there aren't a whole lot of companies out there supporting this car. So support the companies that support us. Go check them out, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.